Alright, so I decided to finally start installing my 8th port fuel injection. So we have a split second controller. Right now we have the AEM 340 liter per hour pump in there. I already took the coil pack harness, it's right here, taking off all the tape so that I can splice the split second controller into it. I'm running a full-blown fuel rail. Now normally, Damon Motorsports has their manifold, Cork Sport has their manifold as well, and then JMF with the fuel rail and everything built into the manifold. But I'm running an ST manifold, and this fuel rail, I bought it like over a year ago, was cheaper than anything that was offered on the market. Now there are multiple ways you can run port injection on the Mazdaspeed3s, but I am doing the simplest, the easiest, and that is a returnless fuel setup. So once I get the 340 liter per hour pump, I'm running a 6AN line to this side of the fuel rail, and then from here on is going to be a 90 feeding the high pressure fuel pump. I've debated whether splitting the fuel so it feeds both of them at the same time or running through here, and I just decided it was easier. Now there are other methods, you can get a surge tank or a separate fuel cell and all of that other stuff, but this is the most cost-effective method for the Mazdaspeed. Split seconds, they are not being produced anymore, so I'm guessing either you're gonna have to get a used one, or if you have somebody selling a new one, they're gonna ask a higher price than normal. The injectors, I got these for free. Shout out to my brother. The fuel rail was less than 300 bucks. It was like 270 from eBay. It's for the Focus RS and the ST and all of that stuff, but it fits here. What else was it? All the fuel lines and all of that stuff was about 100 bucks. The fuel pump itself was like 160. So, depends. I've been running methanol, but after installing this big turbo, I'm running out of fuel, so gonna go 8th port along with methanol. So let's see how it goes. Alright, so I finally took off all of the tape from the coil pack harness. Now when you're splicing or wiring the split second controller, if you're gonna do it yourself like I am, because there are people that sell plug and play kits for this, but if you're gonna do it yourself, from what I've read, every single coil pack obviously has 3 wires, and the split second controller has those 4 yellow and blue wires, which is for the tach signal or RPM signal. Then that green wire is for the MAF voltage. Obviously you have red and black for power and ground. So we're gonna wire this up to a switched power source. Now as far as the coil packs, from what I've read, you're gonna use the leftmost cable, which is this third one over here. So if your coil packs are facing like this, obviously is gonna be this third wire to the left on every single coil pack. And then for the MAF voltage is gonna be the middle wire. You got 5 wires, it's gonna be the one in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and start splicing this split second controller into this harness and then tape it up again and see how it goes. Alright, so there's a slight hiccup with the fuel filter provided by AEM and this piece. So this is the OEM what do you call it, retainer or whatever. It holds the fuel pump and the fuel pressure regulator from popping out. Now the thing with this is it's made to fit the OEM fuel filter, which I'm not gonna use, but it goes like this on the fuel pump, and then you put this over it. Now the thing is, this filter and this piece have the same opening, so you can't put one on the other. So if you're gonna do a fuel pump install and you're gonna go this far, you need another one of these. Now the problem is this comes together with this. They don't ship them separately for whatever reason. So before you start taking a fuel pump apart, make sure you order another one of these. Now since I already ordered one and I have this one laying around, what I'm gonna try to do is delete this hole here and that little locator hole right there. Make it bigger so that way this piece just holds the fuel pump and the fuel pressure regulator, and this sock will literally just fit through that enlarged hole right here. And if it doesn't work, well, like I said, I got another one of these coming from Edge Auto Sport. So here's the OEM in-tank fuel pump. Here is the AEM 340 with the new fuel sock. The wiring is literally plug and play. This white piece, don't forget to swap it out. From there, obviously you're going to be giving O-rings because they go in there. You need one O-ring in there to seal. If not, you will not have any fuel pressure. Alright, so here's what I did. I made that hole a little bit bigger, that way once it sits in there, or before I sit it in here, I can just put the fuel filter through this. Let's see if it works. Hey bro, this shit worked. So everything snapped in place. So the fuel sock is being held down by obviously the plastic retainer, and it worked. The alignment pin is there. It doesn't move, it's solid as a rock. So I mean, shit, that's a win for me. So the install is complete. Everything is back in its place. Now, did run into a couple of issues. The power steering pump did make a little bit of contact, so I had to work something there, but everything is back. So literally the bolt is literally just holding the spacer, and then once I slide over the power steering pump, it actually pushes or actually holds the manifold in this last bit right here. That was one of my concerns, but it does fit. Everything seems to be doing good. So the fuel line comes from obviously the fuel pump basket. I added a quick connector like this style right here. It's a 90-degree 5/16 to a 6AN. So it follows the factory fuel hoses and everything, and it comes up here, and then from here has a 90-degree going to the bottom, and then comes up here to the high pressure fuel pump. Now, other than that, two things I did forget was to order the USB to serial port adapter for the split second. So right now the injectors are disconnected, obviously, until we test them out tomorrow.